Interesting, the animals themselves are never risky. If you do your job properly, there's never any danger from the animals. If you get into danger with animals, you're not doing your job properly. The most dangerous thing is other people. A man with a machine gun is much more dangerous than a lion. But I think in terms of sequences or expeditions, going to really remote places is always quite risky because you are often cut off from any help. And we did a sequence for Planet Earth 2 where we went to this island called Zavadovsky, which is a volcano which basically sticks out of the ocean right down near Antarctica. And that takes about a week to get there you can only get there by a little sailboat. You can't land on it by a helicopter, you can't land with a big boat. And there's huge sheer cliffs. So you have to get there by the sailboat, and then you have to get on with the little Zodiac, and then the boat has to leave you. So you're stuck on this island on your own. There's no medical help, nothing. But the story of these penguins that live there, because it's the biggest penguin colony in the world, 1.5 million penguins, it's worth it because what you actually come back with is such a privileged view of this amazing world. And of course the penguins themselves, enormously risky. They have to keep jumping off the cliffs and to get back on, and to get back on again they get crushed against the water. It makes you realise this is a dangerous place. Stories are, I think you can kind of you can make a formula for it, but a lot of it's a natural sense of people who can tell a joke are good storytellers usually, because lots about surprise and timing. But you need to have surprise, you need to have a good structure to it, you need character, and I suppose what most people would say, you have to have jeopardy. You have to have something at stake. You care for somebody or some animal or some character, and they have to be in trouble, and you hope that it's all going to turn out right. I think the biggest risk that I've taken is actually not actually on location, but coming up with a particular project that we're making at the moment actually, which the working title is Dynasties, and we're following, it's 5 films, each of following one animal family. And the reason why it's risky is because we have invested all our efforts, so everything in this one story, one place, one animal family. And if they all died, we'd have no film. And normally, of course, if you're making a film like Planet Earth and if a story doesn't work, you can go film something else. But with this, so we're filming a chimpanzee troop, we're filming a lion pride. Once you decide to film that chimpanzee troop, you are investing 3 years of your life and huge amounts of money and a lot of discomfort into telling that story. And the risk is that nothing happens or they all die. But luckily, neither of those things happened in this particular series, so I think the risk has paid off. When you travel the world, it does give you an insight into humanity and our relationship with the world we live on. And it's probably not an answer that people want to hear, but I think it's a double-edged sword. A lot of times I have seen really inhumane behaviour, particularly towards the natural world and towards the animals. A lack of concern and almost brutality against what is our home and our fellow occupants. And that can be quite shocking, because ultimately you're hurting your brother and you're hurting your home. But you also do see amazing bravery of people who are doing what they can to try and make the world, the natural world anyway, a better place. And often this is a great personal risk, because often it's against quite powerful parties who don't want this to happen. So I think there are some remarkable people who dedicate their lives to try and make the natural world a better place. But interestingly, the other thing is, I think I see bravery in the natural world itself. And I've got no time for the sort of anthropomorphism thought police who say you can't say this about animals. You do see it. These are usually people who've never really watched animals. If you do watch animals, you do see that sort of sense of, if by bravery you mean where you put yourself in danger for no personal benefit, you do see animals doing the most remarkable bits of what seem to us utterly courageous, heroic behaviour. And that's day in, day out. Animals' lives are very, very tough. And they're tough enough, but with the extra problems the pressures that humanity is placing on them is making their lives really difficult.